All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power, and I've got a couple interesting stories for you guys today. The first story is going to be about Arnold Schwarzenegger in South Africa, but it's not going to be about Arnold getting kicked while he was in South Africa. So this story is actually going to be about a seminar that Arnold Schwarzenegger did while he was at the Arnold South Africa, where he mentioned drug testing in bodybuilding. He mentioned the issue of not only the drug testing itself, but the overuse of performance-enhancing drugs in the bodybuilding culture in general, not just in competitions, but he also talks about gym culture of people taking steroids and not even competing. And it was a relatively thought-provoking discussion because of the fact that he mentions in that video that the Arnold South Africa was a WADA-compliant show and that bodybuilders competing in that show were in fact randomly tested. And Arnold goes on to say in that video that it's bodybuilding, not body destroying. And he goes on to try to share the message of people should just stay away from steroids and drugs in general. But he also mentions the overuse aspect of things and saying if you're going to use them, do it the correct way and don't be stupid and don't use too much and try to keep it as a minimum. But the overall message of the video was to stay away from performance enhancing drugs in general, and that testing in bodybuilding shows is a good thing. Now, this is an interesting discussion for a number of reasons. The primary reason is something that people have been talking about ever since the split in the IFBB between the IFBB Pro League and the IFBB Elite Pro. The Pro League being ran by Jim Mannion and having the NPC. That's the one we're familiar with over here. The IFBB Elite Pro being the league ran by Rafael Santoja, which is the prominent federation in other countries outside of the United States. Now, the reason this is interesting is because the Arnold Classic is now a worldwide event, and the Arnold Classic is held in many different countries, and some of the countries that the Arnold Classic is held in are in different federations. So the Arnold Classic USA obviously falls under the IFBB Pro League and Jim Mannion and the IFBB that we're familiar with over here. But in South Africa, that Arnold Classic is ran under the IFBB Elite Pro, not Jim Mannion's IFBB, but Rafael Santoja's. So the interesting thing about Arnold's statement here is that he runs Arnold Classic competitions basically in both federations. One, the IFBB over here, which is actually banned by WADA, I believe until the year 2025. And then he also runs competitions in the IFBB Elite Pro, which is actually WADA compliant. So the interesting question to be posed here, if Arnold Schwarzenegger is so strongly pushing for drug testing and bodybuilding and feels so passionate that less drugs and drug testing is a good thing for bodybuilding, is he going to continue to ride the fence, essentially, of these two organizations, or is he eventually going to pick a side and only run the Arnold Classic competitions under one of these banners and pick one of the IFBBs? So that's why I found this seminar by Arnold so particularly interesting, because of the fact that there is a little bit of hypocrisy in having an Arnold Classic with the IFBB that's banned by WADA and also having an Arnold Classic in the IFBB that's WADA compliant, because in one organization, you've got to consider the fact that there are athletes that were in the other IFBB, the International IFBB, that actually failed the drug tests in that organization and then came back over to this IFBB, the IFBB Pro League, to compete where they would not be drug tested. In fact, one prominent example of that would be the winner of the 212 division at the Arnold Classic, Kamal El Gargani, who actually won in 2018 at the Arnold Classic Ohio in the IFBB. Now, Kamal had left the other IFBB for failing the drug test and came over to this IFBB where he wouldn't have to be tested and ended up winning Arnold's show in Ohio. And then another interesting aspect of this conversation is the fact that Arnold Schwarzenegger has never denied using steroids or performance-enhancing drugs in his journey to become a 7-time Mr. Olympia. He's always been very open about that. He's never denied it. He's never lied. And he's always admitted to it. So there's also the question of, does he really feel that strongly about drug testing and bodybuilding, or is it kind of a situation where he's trying to be diplomatic and trying to just promote a positive message because he knows he has such a large platform, he can't really be promoting the use of drugs? But it does seem that for years, Arnold has always promoted this message of health and fitness and not so much the drug side of things. Even back when, right after his competitive bodybuilding career, he did interviews on talk shows where he would admit to his drug use, but he would also go on to say he doesn't believe it's something that people should do. So it's always kind of been the message that he's had, that health and fitness and bodybuilding, not body destroying, was what he wanted to promote. He didn't want to promote the use of drugs. So it's an interesting thing to consider. I don't think we're ever going to see Arnold actually pick one side or the other, but it could end up happening. And if it did happen, it would probably mean the end of one or several Arnold Classics worldwide. I really don't see him leaving the IFBB Pro League and giving up the Arnold Classic Ohio, since that's the original Arnold. That's the most important of all the Arnold Classics. And if he picked the IFBB Elite Pro, he would probably have to give up the Arnold Ohio, and I just don't see that happening. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.